I feel like there are 3 types of people that watch Tesla YouTube videos. The people that love Tesla and think they can do no wrong, the people that hate Tesla and think they can do nothing right, and then people in the middle. I would like to think I fall somewhere in the middle. I like my Tesla, but I'm also honest, and I'd like to think that's why most people subscribe and watch, because I'm honest and not gonna feed you a certain end of the Tesla spectrum. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's talk about everything wrong with my brand new refresh Model 3 performance and what Tesla is and isn't doing about it. First up, just want to shout out the delivery day checklist. I'll have it linked below. I probably wouldn't have noticed these issues as fast as I did or at all had I not had it. Plus, it directly supports the channel should you decide to use it, so thank you. So all of my problems have been split up between 2 service visits. It could have just been one and saved me 120 miles of driving had they just gotten back to me in time, but oh well. And I'll be going in order for which I submitted them to Tesla, and I submitted them all via the app post delivery day. The front passenger door is up first. It's just not properly aligning to the rear passenger door. I've had this problem in my past 3s. This is my 3rd Model 3 now, and I've also seen other people complain about this. It's not a major misalignment, and if it wasn't for the hard body line in this like very specific area of the door, I wouldn't be able to notice it. But, you know, considering that the driver door is perfect, I know that this can be tighter. Problem number 2, the rear driver side trim on the door does not align. It's definitely minor, and I don't know if or how this can be fixed, but you can feel it flex when you push it in, and actually pushing it in just slightly aligns it, but it doesn't stay. Same thing as the last problem. This seems pretty common. I've seen other people complain about this as well. So now for the 3rd problem, which in my opinion is where my real problems actually begin. Like the first 2, they're kind of just, I mean, I wouldn't say that they're nitpicking because they are actually problems, but I don't really care about those in comparison to the upcoming problems. The passenger rear quarter panel had been damaged. It was bent in a way. At the top where the trunk arm meets, there's this gap, which this gap is actually in spec due to the like trunk motors being right there. It looks like at one point maybe like these 2 panels were a lot closer and someone opened the trunk, which clipped the quarter panel and bent it up in a way. Whatever it was, this definitely shouldn't have been like this at delivery, and this should 100% have been caught. I actually noticed this on delivery day. I just didn't feel like dealing with it, so I just waited till I got home to report it. But something that you shouldn't wait for, Test Stuff's 4th of July sale, which starts now. Code Cyber4th will get you 15% off your entire order. Floor mats, screen protectors, organizers, RGB light strips, everything. And for those people asking about back-ordered items, we are expecting those to ship by the end of this coming week, going into the next, so you won't have to wait long. Yeah, Cyber 4th, 15% off at Test Stuff. 4th is the tail light, which I have mentioned in past videos. It's not aligned. The driver's side is super tight and it looks really, really good. Passenger, not so much. I'm not sure if this will compromise the integrity of the water seal, but even if it doesn't, I still think it looks bad, especially when the taillight, not even 2 feet away, looks perfect. None of my other Model 3s have ever had condensation in the taillight. Now, whether if this is because I don't go to traditional car washes or not, if I have anything to say about it, I'm not going to start having condensation now. Number 5, the dash is damaged. Now, I'm going to be honest, I thought that I did this because I don't remember seeing it on delivery day. But after realizing that there was no possible way I could have done this, considering that literally one person had been in the passenger seat by the time I noticed it one time, there was just no way. So I went digging through some delivery day footage, and lo and behold, there it was. I'm not too sure which new material they're using for the dash. It kind of feels like the leather or the vinyl for the seats, but it's definitely not, because I've cut the seats before and they don't peel like this. This peels, I don't know what it is, but it beginning to peel is actually how I caught it, because the part that was peeling, the little flap moved backwards and the light hit it just right when I was driving, and that's how I was able to notice that it was there. Turn signals are up next, and they just don't work. Most of the time they do, but since they're turn signals, anytime that they don't work, well, that should be considered pretty bad. Now, I've had some people argue with me stating that the new Model 3 does have physical buttons. I don't know if they just don't know what haptic feedback is, if they've never experienced, I think that's the right term, haptic feedback. Maybe it's force sensitive, whatever it might be. It feels just like a real button. You can even see just a slight bit of travel, but it's fake. Every Model 3, new Model 3 that I've been in have all been haptic feedback. It feels like a real button, acts like a real button, even kind of looks like it moves like a real button, but it's not a real button. And well, the problem with them not being real physical buttons with, an actual actuation point and everything is that they can kind of just get stuck whenever. I have found that clicking the opposite turn signal will unstick the one that I'm trying to press, but nonetheless, it's annoying, and I wish they had just stuck with real buttons like they did with Cybertruck. Problem number 7, a very, very squeaky armrest, which I'm actually finding out now is a fairly common issue with the Refresh 3s. Both my older Model 3s, if I put enough pressure into the armrest, they'd, make a little noise, maybe. This one though, it's literally all the time. Readjusting or even rolling my arm causes it to make so much noise.
Okay, so I wanted to record this just on like a normal microphone and a normal phone camera just so you can really hear it. It's like right in the center. Now imagine your arm sitting here and you're just kind of going over bumps and it's just
It just drives me crazy considering that everything else in the car has been dead silent for me. Now this next one, I don't know if this is a problem or not, but the interior lighting. There are just these inconsistencies with the LEDs. Like some parts are noticeably dimmer than others. I'm no LED expert, so I don't know if this is like a common thing or what, but being in other cars with interior lighting, I didn't notice this. And no, I haven't gotten tint, so that hasn't been the cause. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go to a tint shop that doesn't properly cover the interior when they're spraying like the solution for the tint itself, it can seep down into the lights, causing problems. Yeah, mine are just really inconsistent. Like where the door meets the dash, like the LEDs are just darker. And then on the passenger side, on the front door, you can almost see the individual LEDs, or at least that's what it looks like. And it's extremely hard to capture on camera, but in real life, you can 100% notice it. And then the final problem, hopefully, and I think I'm saying this right, the valance front fascia appears to be ripped on the passenger side. I say appears because it looks like there's a breakaway line and it follows that line. So maybe the other side is the one that's messed up and, for it being attached, right? Like I haven't seen the underneath of another new Model 3 Performance, so maybe this is a new aerodynamic thing, but to be honest, I kind of doubt it. I do know that all of the other Performance 3s that were getting delivered on my delivery day had scrape damage underneath. The person taking delivery next to me actually pointed that out to me and I did notice it. However, I didn't get up underneath the bumper to look, so I don't know. But I haven't, hit a massive pothole or anything like that, so I don't know. I'm assuming that it came from the truck. Let me know if the underneath of your new Model 3 Performance looks like this. So what is Tesla doing about this? Well, like I've already mentioned, this has been split into 2 service appointments and I've already been to my first one. And spoiler alert, like I alluded to earlier, it was kind of a wasted trip. My first service appointment, I'd only reported 4 things: the door and trim alignment, quarter panel damage, and tail light alignment. However, the day before my appointment, I did let them know about the dash damage, and they didn't get back to me until 30 minutes before my appointment, informing me they didn't have that part in and they need to have me come all the way back because they couldn't have it done via mobile service, which of course my nearest service center is an hour away, so I was already halfway there at that point. And I do understand that, it was a little last minute, but at least they had actually looked at the problems I had submitted in the first place and I would get a accurate, completion time, right? No. Not at all. I had been told that the car would be ready by the end of the day and they would be giving me a loaner, which is great. However, about 10 minutes later, they had informed me, after actually looking at the problems that I had already submitted and sent tons of pictures and stuff in, that it wasn't going to be ready at the end of the day and that they were going to need to send the car to a body shop to fix the rear quarter panel being bent, and the earliest they were going to get back to me was going to be by the end of the week. And that was on a Monday, so I went from a 6 to 7 hour repair time to a 5-day repair time. Now, it's not all loom and gloom, and the people at my service center are very helpful. I had to be out of state that coming weekend, and they informed me that even though they had estimated Friday, it probably wouldn't be done by Friday by the time I needed to leave Friday. So they were able to cancel the body shop appointment and bundle it in with when I needed to go back to get my dash fixed. So yeah, the body damage repair, dash repair, squeaky armrest, the front fascia damage are all being bundled and put on the service appointment for the earliest was the end of July. My first service appointment being the middle of June, just to kind of give you a time frame. As for the other 3 issues, part of my first service visit, yeah, Tesla pretty much told me that they were within spec and they weren't going to do anything about it. This is why I said this was a totally waste of my time service visit. They literally didn't fix anything, said it was all within spec. They would have fixed the body damage, but had they actually responded to me saying, hey, my dash is damaged, and then looking at everything that I had already submitted, they would have seen that this would have had to have gone into a body shop. And, I would have told them I had to be out of town for the week. So then they would have pushed it back, and then they could have got back to me about my dash. And then we could have bundled it all together just in a future. Yeah, it was kind of annoying. However, I have been considering withdrawing my request to fix the body damage and have the car sent to a body shop, simply because I've seen horror stories where people will send the car in for one thing and it has to go to a body shop, and then it comes out with multiple other issues. And the car literally is dead silent, doesn't make any squeaks or rattles, which is honestly my biggest fear. My biggest fear is that I'm going to send it in to get it fixed, and then something's going to go wrong and something's going to start making tons of noise, because I've seen way too many experiences where people have had those issues. Plus, by that time, the car will be PPF'd and I'll have to re-PPF that quarter panel. And I don't know. I'll keep you all updated down in the comments section. Now, thankfully, all of my issues have been cosmetic and nothing has been mechanical or major, which when you're buying a Tesla is really the win that you're looking for. This isn't a luxury car. You're paying for straight line performance and the technology. That's pretty much it, which honestly is why I'm not super upset. I know what I'm getting myself in, considering that most Model 3s and Ys cost less than what the average new car in the US costs. I know what I'm buying, right? I know I'm not paying for build quality. I know it's not just me having problems with my new 3. I've seen other people complaining that, they're having problems with their new 3, even their new performance 3s. I feel like it was inevitable that Tesla was going to take a step back, because they really had the 2023 Model 3s super dialed in, kind of like how they have the Model Ys dialed in right now. And of course, a refresh, changing up it was a pretty big refresh, changing up a lot of things. We were inevitably going to see a step back in terms of build quality that they're probably not. It's definitely not a big step back. This is still way better put together than my 21 long range was, and even my 22 performance, but it's probably going to take them about a year or so before they really dial this in to be on par with the current Y and the Legacy 3 at the end, late 2023s. But yeah, those were all the problems with my new 3. I know a lot of people are taking deliveries, especially of Model 3 performances right now. So if you have any problems with yours, then let me know down in the comment section. Are you having problems with your turn signals or your armrest being super squeaky? Those are 2 of the big ones that I've seen people complaining about. And yeah, if you are new around here and you do want to see more Tesla related stuff in your YouTube feed, then feel free to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.